You mentioned in the test bug game that you felt like a super economic baneling bust would be problematic. What would your response to that have been?
Same thing I was doing, just thick wall, doubled up with the supply depots, and as soon as you see it outside your front door, just add bunkers right away and repair everything.
Cool. Awesome. 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 See if I can find a couple more good questions for you before we wrap up. In general, Painuser, what is your cue to go and push? You seem to have been leaving at a lot of random times in these games we saw today. So what is it that makes you decide, okay, it's time to attack?
Experience, especially against Zerg, just like knowing when it's a combination of in your mind when you think that they should be droning. So like if I were a Zerg, I would be droning super hard right now and I would be trying to run away with the macro game. So you try and like put yourself in their shoes, think about when they're going to be droning really hard and think about the points when they're going to have the fewest units and you just need to go 100% and then they scramble based on how many larvae they have available. They scramble to produce lings or whatever tech they may have available. They're scrambling to produce units, and you're launching a pretty aggressive push. And then generally, I'll get as far as I can get on the map until I'm in like an ambush situation. When I'm on creep, when I'm in a situation that's a little bit sketchy, I'll slow it down, siege my tanks, start leapfrogging. A really good example of that was the last game
Yeah.
on
Yeah, that was
on
a
test bug.
solid slow push.
Yeah, I was scared. I didn't know whether he had units behind me. I didn't know if he had like some Zerglings ready to flank or anything like that. It turned out to be a Nidus, so I kind of lucked out. But in a situation like that, you need to be really careful, and especially when you get to territory like that against Zerg, it's so important that you hold it because even if you don't win the game like outright right there, you can just slowly strangle them and build bunkers and continue to creep on into their natural, and it forces them to make a move. And when you force them to make a move and you're in a defensive position with siege tanks, you can kill like 2 to 3 times your army value, which is nice.
Cool. Awesome. 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 And one last question before I let you do some shout outs and things like that. As a Terran player, I have a hard time handling Zerg counterattacks, and that's also something you mentioned throughout all the games today. So you got to be wary of a backstab or a counter of some type. I love watching your defensive play, and my question revolves around this. What's going through your mind when you're walling off a natural? What are you thinking when you go to push out? How do you best prepare to deal with a big Ling counter or something of the sort?
Um, a lot of times, well, with the wall, you kind of want it to act as like a obviously just a buffer between your main defensive position at your natural and your natural. So a lot of times, like on a map like Zelnaga and Testbug, I like to put that wall a little bit out in front so there's enough room for a bunker and possibly a tank or two. And then if it's a player that really likes to backstab, it's probably a good idea to leave. Oftentimes you can just leave your rally at your natural,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can launch your push, and then you'll have enough units rallied from your production cycles at your natural to hold like a small backstab. But if it's a player that does really aggressive backstabbing, like Slush is a perfect example of
Yeah.
somebody who backstabs a lot with a ton of units. It's a really good idea to leave like 2 tanks and maybe 8 Marines, and it's also a good idea to double up on your bunkers at your natural. Like what the hell is 100 extra minerals if it saves you the game?
Oh yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
it's not a big deal at all, and that's something I need to work on a lot more too. Is just being a lot more liberal with bunkers. Bunkers are absolutely amazing. If you can use them while you're pushing, if you can use them defensively, I mean, just use them wherever you can. They're so good, and they add, obviously they add a range to any unit that you throw into them, and then they add all that armor and hit points, and they work so well with units like siege tanks and slow pushes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I definitely agree, man. I would just kind of like as a criticism to you, something that I see some really strong Terran players do, and of course you're one of the strongest, is they'll double wall. They'll wall their ramp with depots, and then they'll wall their natural with something else. That way, in the case of that Nidus, you wouldn't have had to walk those tanks outside. You just siege them up at the bottom of your ramp, and I just don't understand why more players don't do that. You know, I don't know.
That's something that I think you're 100% right. There's still no reason not to do it. The only reason that I don't do it now is because I like to put all those buildings at my front ramp. I don't think I have enough buildings to double wall when I'm using 3 Raxes and like 5 depots at my front to double that wall. But when everybody was doing the double wall was when people were doing that like 14 pool, 13 gas, super aggro Baneling bust.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then we started doubling the wall to prevent them from doing that. But honestly, I totally agree with you. I think bringing it back in the mid game, like once you have your wall at your natural doubled up and you have that completely secured, I don't see any reason why I shouldn't drop a Rax into 2 more supply depots just to get that double wall, because I can definitely see a lot of situations where it would be really nice, especially like that Nidus.
All right, man. Well, listen, Painuser, you're such a fun guy to have on the show and to talk to. I really want to thank you for coming on and teaching us how you approach Terran versus Zerg. I want to give you an opportunity to plug yourself and to do some shout outs. So I guess for the next couple minutes, the mic is yours, man. Give some love to whoever you want to give some love to.
All right. Big shout out to Lazarus Gaming, my team, all my teammates on Lazarus Gaming, practice partners. You guys are awesome. Makes the game a lot more fun to play when I'm playing with you guys. Heart. Big shout out to you for having me on the show. I really enjoyed it, really appreciated it. I think it's a good show, and I think it's a great resource for people who don't have access to the pro community to hear what people have to say and listen to it and take what they will from it.
Well, thank you.
And big shout outs to IGN for hosting the IPL and allowing me to cast those games. I really enjoy it, and I'm probably going to be back for more of that. And then be sure and check out my Twitter and my YouTube. My Twitter is twitter.com/Painuser, and YouTube is youtube.com/StratBunker. And on the YouTube, I do a lot of similar stuff to what I've been explaining today. A lot of guides on different matchups from my perspective, a lot of in-depth stuff, and there's a couple other guys who post videos there as well. So
Sick. So
if you guys are
check that
interested
out.
in that kind of stuff, check it out. And that wraps it up for shoutouts. So I will
Awesome.
catch you and the rest of you guys tomorrow.
Awesome. Well, Taylor, I can't thank you enough, man. I look forward to talking to you again tomorrow, and I look forward to having another beer with you in Columbus.
Absolutely, man.
All right,
Take it
buddy.
easy.
See you tomorrow. All right, guys. That was Taylor Painuser Parsons, one of the best Terran players in North America, one of the coolest guys in the whole of the StarCraft community. And just saying the pleasantries right now. Guys, if you enjoyed the show today, please help us out. Support the show by watching the VODs on Blip. We make a little bit of money from the Blip VODs, and all the money that the Blip VODs bring in, I pay back out to get pros on the show. Every pro that comes on, I pay them. I don't pay them because they ask me to. I don't pay them because they beg me to. I pay them because they deserve to be paid. They're pro players, and their time is worth money. So please help me to do that by watching the Blip VODs. That's all I ask. Please just watch the Blip VODs. You can also see our videos on YouTube. Please post and bump our threads on Team Liquid. The more people that see those threads, then the more people that will come and watch. This VOD will be uploaded right now. I'm going to go shut down the stream and upload the VOD immediately. Yesterday's show was postponed. We had a scheduling misstep yesterday. So we'll be doing TVP on Thursday. We'll be doing TVT tomorrow. Yes, at my Blip page, you can see the VODs with Sella. You can see VODs with Cats. You can see VODs with Idra, Sheth, Rhett, Machine, In Control. Tons and tons of great content is out there, so go look at it all. We just recently did all 3 of the Protoss matchups with Zoke, so check those out as well. Thank you so much for watching the show. Thank you to the StarCraft community for all your support. You guys are the best. So thumbs up, heart, and much love. Tomorrow, 6 o'clock Eastern Time, we'll be doing Terran versus Terran with Painuser. So don't miss it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see y'all tomorrow.